I would like to preface this by saying I am not really one of the people who believe 100% in the Solaris time loop theory. There are a few things hinting at it, but I'm not really all on board with it yet. But just because I don't fully believe in it, doesn't mean I have nothing to add in its favor.
The greatest theories that ever lived.
A time loop that goes on forever until the best outcome is found just removes all of the agency from the characters. And considering how past Rover acted, I don't think he has unlimited retries. That's why I don't really like the time loop theory. That is, until you add a catch to it. And that might very well be the etheric sea. Yep. That is not the first, nor the last time I will use the etheric sea as part of a theory. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but a few years ago we had a story where the main character would go to an island, and arriving there he would end up with the ability of returning back in time after his death. But the catch was that every time he died, the point of return would advance a few hours. So if he died too often, he would have no place to return to. He even described that limitation with something along the lines of, "It's like a wall of darkness chasing after me, and if it catches up, I might be done for." Oh yeah, and his power had something to do with his eye. But why am I bringing this up, you might ask? Well, it's funny you should say that, because I was looking through some old photos and looks very, similar. Rover arrived in Solaris and ended up with the ability of going back in time every time he failed. The etheric sea is getting closer to Solaris with every loop, and ever since 1.0 we have a lot of emphasis in Rover's eyes. But I'm going too far with this comparison, so here's how I think this time loop could work. In the original timeline, Rover failed his mission and Solaris was destroyed. At this point, the first instance came and resonated with Rover. Notice how at this point, he don't have a tacit mark yet. Not a resonator. She then sent Rover back in time to the point where the etheric sea first appeared. This is Rover's wall of darkness. His countdown. Rover went through the second loop, I might have to make a timeline video with this theory in mind, and failed again, going back in time one more time to the point where the etheric sea collapsed. We are now playing the third and final loop, because if the etheric sea collapses any further, there will be no more Solaris to return to. This gives Rover real agency in this story, because in this timeline with no memories, if he fails, he fails. Well, I said I wasn't 100% on board with this theory, but I might have convinced myself otherwise.
Greatest theories that ever lived.
As a side note to this video, in my previous video I was theorizing about the possibility of the existence of a third instance related to reality. But if this time loop is true, considering how I link the etheric sea with the looping itself, we might have a different explanation for that character. Considering how media loves to interpret this character as a silver-haired person, and how this entity would very much be interested in setting limits for someone else meddling with time, we might already be able to name the white-haired woman. What about Chronos?